Canon just released firmware 1.3.1 for the Canon R5. This is 1 week after Canon released firmware 1.3.0. Now at first, this update seems rather significant, with some 13 items being updated or enhanced or fixed, until you realize Canon copied a bulk of these enhancements from firmware 1.3.0. Confused? Not sure if you need to update? Let's get into it. Thanks for tuning in to The Ordinary Filmmaker. Subscribe to get notification of new videos like this one so you don't miss any news, rumors, gear reviews, or tutorials. And a big thanks to Atomos for sponsoring The Ordinary Filmmaker. I'm using the Ninja 5 external recorder for all my studio work as it saves me a ton of time in post. So if you want to speed up your projects in post, consider using my links down below to purchase your own Ninja. It also helps support my channel. And now, for the news. To say it's been a busy few days is an understatement. This is my third video today and my fifth in 2 days. Now this morning we got 3 new lenses, the 100mm f2.8, the 400mm f2.8, and the 600mm f4. We also got a development announcement for the Canon EOS R3. And as I stated in the intro, Canon just released firmware 1.3.1 for the Canon R5. Now, as I read the release notes for 1.3.1, I have a sense of deja vu. I was a little bit confused. I started reading them through, and what I ended up realizing is that Canon just simply copied the enhancements from 1.3.0 and placed them in the release notes for 1.3.1. Look a little closely. I've copied them into this spreadsheet so you can see them side by side. Firmware 1.3.1 is on the left, with firmware 1.3.0 on the right. As you can see, the first 11 enhancements of 1.3.1 are identical. They're copied from 1.3.0. And this is what led me to some confusion. I'm reading through these thinking like, weren't these added? Weren't these updated? And they were. So I spent a good deal of time looking through these, checking it out, and it wasn't until I put them in the spreadsheet like this I realized, oh, they are the same. Now, if you go down a little further, Canon does actually say they did this, but the point is, I'm having to read through all this and try to figure it out before I get to that one statement. However, I did find some minor differences between 1.3.1 and 1.3.0. 2 actually. Paragraph 12 reads, fixes a phenomenon in which part of the settings screen is incorrectly displayed in firmware 1.2.1. And the next noted enhancement is in paragraph 13, the very next one, fixes a phenomenon in which when shooting Canon Log 3, if View Assist setting is on, the image in the viewfinder or the LCD screen is displayed brighter than it should be. Now, I'm not happy with how Canon has documented this update. One should not need to review in as much detail, placing them side by side to see what the delta is. The fact that this is a minor dotted update, 1.3.1 instead of 1.4 or even 2.0, automatically tells me it has to be a minor update. This is how we do version control. Now, this is good news. I've gotten a lot of people saying, you know what, do you find that with View Assist on, it's too bright? And yes, I found that it was, or to me, it felt like it was oversaturated. It just didn't look right. So that's good that they're fixing that. But let's get back to my issue with this update. Even if each feature was somehow updated or enhanced in some way, there were some bug fixes, well, that's what the release notes do. They tell you what was fixed. They tell you the difference between this update and a previous one. So let's get back to the result again. Should we update the R5? As I shoot in C-Log 3 and I've already updated to 1.3.0, yes, but I'm going to wait a few days on this one. I just find that it's not worded the way it should be. And I just want to make sure there isn't some other strange issue that's been added to it. After all, I mean, the end result to how I shoot hasn't really changed. I don't see any fixes in here. All the support applications that work with the R5, they haven't been updated. So I don't see any real hurry to upgrade. Now, if I want to go shoot outside in C-Log 3, well, these fixes don't really change that. When it comes to firmware updates, and 2 things I always recommend. 1, definitely read the release notes, because that's going to tell you a lot about the firmware update. It's going to tell you several things. What's been enhanced and what's been fixed. But it's also going to tell you if it's a cumulative update, meaning if I'm on firmware 1.1.1, for example, or 1.0, if I go ahead and apply firmware 1.3.1, do I have to update other firmwares first? And in most cases, no. And that's why I go ahead and read the release notes. I'm looking to see what's changed, what's different. So that's always important. And the other thing is you've got to assess what is the risk. And that's very important. What is the risk that updating this firmware could cause me issues? And part of that should be asking you, well, what is the benefit to applying this? And in this case, I don't see a huge benefit. So it's not worth the risk because the impact is, and this is where, the risk might be low, but the impact is total. It's catastrophic. If I apply an update and it bricks the camera, I can't produce videos. And because I'm a professional, because I make money off my camera, I'm not willing to take that risk. So I might wait a day or two, maybe a few. You guys are very good at saying, hey, I updated this and I've noticed this problem. So if I hear anything about anybody who's updated this, of course I'll be checking the press, I'll be checking Canon rumors, I'll be checking Digital Camera Review, tons of different press organizations that I follow, looking to see if there's any issues. But I'm going to hold off upgrading this one right now. Now you will remember also that Canon did provide 1.3.1 for the R6, but the R6 had a much more significant issue. The R5 didn't. If you tried recording in 120 or 100 frames per second on the R6, and you were in cropped mode, now keep in mind if you put an EFS lens on that camera, it automatically defaults to crop mode. And it would temporarily brick the R6. So 1.3.1 was rushed out the door 2 days later. But the R5, these looked like rather cosmetic issues. I mean, it might show it's firmware 1.2.1 in some screens. Not a big deal. I don't really care. I know it's 1.3.1. I've got C-Log 3 in it. And of course, View Assist is a little weird, but then again, I never liked View Assist with Canon Log 1 too. There I found that it wasn't as bright. I found that it wasn't as saturated. It looked faded. It didn't, I'd rather be able to load in one of my own LUTs to get a fair representation of how it would actually look. So I've turned off View Assist. I don't use it. I just don't see the point to it. But yeah, just... this is an interesting update. Like normally these updates are pretty clear. They tell you pretty clearly right off the top what's different. And if you actually go and look in the bottom of the release notes for this one, way down below, it'll tell you what each version brought. And 1.3.0 brought an awful lot to the R5. But then copying those over to 1.3.1 leaves a lot of people going, okay, well now I've got to do a lot of reading. Okay, because after reading about 2 of them, I had a strange sense of deja vu. And I already said that, another case of deja vu. Is there going to be a black cat walk by twice? A little bit of Matrix going on? No, because I don't have a black cat. And that would be really weird if it did. But once I started to get confused, I didn't read further. I thought, well, okay, let's go take a look at firmware 1.3.0. And I thought, yep, these are the same. I looked down, yep. So I copied to put them into Excel, and yeah, I could see that they were the same. Of course, by the time I'd gotten through reading all of them, because on the screen, when you're looking at the screen, it gives you a very narrow space. So it's not like you're looking at a full-page document and then your eyes can, oh, there's more down here. Let's see what this says. No, you're going through them sequentially. You copy and paste it and you realize there's a problem. You go back and they say, oh, yeah, by the way, the first 11, they're from 1.3.0. So why put it in there? 1.3.1 provides these changes. And then you talk about 1.3.0 provided these, 1.1 provided these, and it makes a whole lot more sense. So I just found this to be a little bit odd. And so, yeah, I'm also a little bit cranky. I got up at 5 o'clock this morning to produce that one video, and I missed all the traffic because I really should have done it at midnight. And then, of course, I rushed to get one out at lunch about the Canon EOS, or not the Canon EOS, the Canon RF 100mm f2.8. And you'll notice there's one mistake in there where I'm talking about the capabilities of the lens. Right at the bottom, the last two, they have nothing to do with the 100mm. They're actually left over from the R3, but nobody's picked up on that yet. So, small mistakes happen. Unlike rumor has it, I don't have anybody to review my work. So I always expect at least one small error is going to go out in each one. So, yeah. But that's it for now. Don't forget to subscribe for your chance to win 2 Angelbird 128GB AV Pro MK2 V90 SD cards, along with an Angelbird Dual UHS-2 card reader. Or you could also win a Ulanzi LED light package with an accent light, underwater light, and various other flat panel lights to light your subject, or as a starter kit for someone starting their own channel. And if you want to support this channel, please use my affiliate links for B&H and Amazon to pre-order any of these lenses or anything that you're interested in buying camera-wise. And you don't have to pay any extra. When you click on these links, you're paying the same as anybody else would if they came directly to those sites. But I get 2%, which I can put towards, upgrading the channel and all that sort of stuff. So it's a great way to support the channel without spending any extra money. Or you can also purchase the Ordinary Filmmaker baseball cap for $34.99 at ordinaryfilmmaker.com. Thanks so much for watching The Ordinary Filmmaker. We'll see you again soon, but hopefully not for another day at least. Let's hope the news slows down just a little bit. We'll see you again soon.